asking us to rise and take the root phrase in our usual way. 1, 2. Oh Lord, give we press before our giving food. Erotic praise and looking west, echoes shall be over. Thank you.
Yes, I want to say a big thank you to our amiable district governor. I want to believe district governor has given us opening remarks, just as he said. That has just called to order. You just called to order. Okay. Okay. I think the next thing on our agenda is the object of voting. Before we test, I will have love us taking to those expressions. Okay. The object of voting. The object of voting is to encourage and foster the ideal of service as a basis of worldly enterprise. The development of acquaintance, first, the development of acquaintance as an opportunity for service. 2, high ethical standard in business and profession. The recognition of the worthiness of all useful occupation and the dignifying of the Rotarian occupation as an opportunity to serve society. Number 3, the application of ideal of service in every Rotarian personal, business, and community lives. And the 4th one, the advancement of international understanding, goodwill, and peace through a world fellowship of business and professional persons united in the ideal of service. Thank you very much. Quickly before we test. Okay.
District Governor, Past District Governors, before we test of the things to say, we think, say, or do. Is it the truth? Is it fair to all concerned? Will you build goodwill and better friendship? Will it be beneficial to all concerned? Thank you. Address. Welcome address by our chairman, from our chairman.
Chairman. Mine is the easiest of all the jobs. Just to welcome every one of us, our district governor, our past district governor, to have everyone, our speakers, Patsy and the board. Thank you for me. We have another PhD in the house. Thank you for coming, and all the other Rotarians that are with us. Not to forget those online. PDG Fusho, thank you for being part of us, and any other district leaders that are online. Thank you for coming. Like I said, mine is the easiest part of the job. We welcome you to this peace building and conflict prevention World Peace Understanding Day that we are celebrating at this period. There's so much conflict in the world. There's so much conflict in the world. But in putting this seminar together, we thought, yes, as much as there's so much strife in the society, but what is happening at home? In other words, can we look into our clubs and understand whether there is peace within our clubs and whether we're promoting enough peace in our clubs? So before we go out to start discussing peace and conflict in the society, why don't we look inwards And that was the reason why this seminar is focusing on our fellow Rotarians and our clubs. A lot of our clubs are doing very well, but few may not be doing so well. And apart from all that, peace, sometimes we have different measures for it. Sometimes we see peace as don't come near me, and I don't come near you. But we know that peace is beyond all of that. So today we are going to try as much as possible through our able speakers to empower the clubs, to empower each and every one of us as clubs, to see what we can do to continuously build peace within our communities, within our clubs and within our communities. So once again, I welcome you all. Please let's be attentive as we listen to our speakers. Thank you very much.
Thank you, our able PhD and chairman of the committee. Quickly, we want to go back to our district governor for his opening remarks. Let's put our hands together to welcome our district governor.
Once again, I say good afternoon to you, fellow Rotarians and family of Rotary world over. Like you all know, this is the month of February, the month dedicated for world peace and understanding in our world. Like you all know, clubs and districts across the globe are doing one activity or the other back in the day. Rotary as an organization sees peace building and conflict prevention as the cornerstone of its mission of creating or of its vision of creating lasting change in our world. Without a peaceful environment, little or nothing can be done. We continue to work towards peace in the world. And how do we do this? We use that very powerful foundation, highly rated foundation, country foundation. All those areas of focus you see us addressing are meant to provide an enabling environment for building peace. So I want to congratulate each and every one of us that we are celebrating the anniversary of our organization, Rotary International, which was 170 years yesterday. This is a continuation of that celebration. I congratulate you. I congratulate the Rotarians, world at large. Let me start off by appreciating this committee, the committee that put this event together. And I want to sincerely appreciate them. Besides funding the event, they are looking at the peace building from a positive perspective, not from a negative. It's like you say, half empty and half full. You are saying the same thing. But when you are saying half full, you are being positive minded. But when you are saying half empty, you are being negative minded. The topic of today, like the committee has put it, peace building and conflict prevention. Yes, we have been told to think global. Ara has laid down for us things we need to do to work for world peace, things we need to do to prevent conflict. But have we X-ray ourselves? Have we checked our own self, our own club? Are we building peace? Are we preventing conflict? What are the available instruments for us to get peace built, to get conflict prevented? I think our speakers of today, our own members themselves, Barrister Chester Massey of Rotary Club of Omale is going to be the lead speaker today to talk to us how we can build peace in our clubs, how we can prevent conflict in our clubs. Because without peace, how are we going to be able to achieve the objects of our organization? I need to remind us, we classify our clubs. You are either an effective Rotary club, a functioning Rotary club, a vibrant Rotary club. An effective Rotary club like the world must have 4 elements present in it. I'm not interested in talking about effective Rotary club here. I'm interested in talking about functioning Rotary club. A functioning Rotary club, among others, must be able to, when you are developing effective, vibrancy, functioning, when you are talking of functioning Rotary club, you're talking of the club that is able to pay its RIPs, a club that is able to pay the district fees, a club that is able to hold the district governor, a club that is able to cooperate with the district. Then there is one element. You see, those elements have been mentioned. If you fail to pay your RIPs, definitely you will lose your club. You agree with me? If they now put a club must be able to resolve this crisis internally, which simply means is foreseen that wherever you have 2 or more people, they say it takes 2 to tango. Wherever you have 2 or more people, there is likelihood of you having misunderstanding. As a club, the moment you are not able to resolve your crisis within yourself and it's now being externalized, you are no longer a functioning Rotary club. It's a narrow code of policies. I want to draw our attention to this. And I believe our speakers be in position to talk to this. Before I round up my opening remarks, let me once again thank this committee. They have done wonderfully well within a short period of going into the work. And I want to put it on record that the committee has funded this event from their personal fund without taking this couple. To the committee, maybe like the chairman himself, or Ivaja of Rotary Club of Texas. Enjoy the session and let us pick 1 or 3 out of this so that can run a very rank of the clubs and at the end of the day we will enjoy our fellowship. We will not be using the good time we're supposed to use for programming, resolving crisis among ourselves. I want to welcome you. Thank you. God bless you.
Another round of yes, we want to move straight to business. Our lead speaker is someone we know very well, and our district governor has rightly introduced him. He is a legal practitioner of note. It's not just a legal practitioner of note, he's also an experienced Rotarian, having served the club very well and moved to the district. And he is serving the district in various capacities. Currently, he's an assistant governor in our district. Please, let's welcome to Chester as I'm very sure at the end of the speech, we become peace ambassadors in our various clubs, and our club will also become more effective and more vibrant. Put your hands together for me.
Sir, the Park District Government Minister, Patrick, distinguished leaders of the district, fellow Rotarians. Let me say a big thank you first to the governor. What is all about? I have However, I will be taking the part B first, the one that relates to us as Rotarians. Thereafter, maybe I'll have the opportunity to talk about Rwanda and the effort they have made at peace building. Rwanda and what they have gained from peace building, and then what other African countries, if only they can be sincere. Conflict prevention. Is it possible that you can prevent conflict? Is it possible that when two or more people gather, there will be no conflict? Is it really possible that we can lay down rules and laws that will make for a conflict-free environment, for a conflict-free culture, for a conflict-free business arrangement? Is it possible? So what is anticipated when you talk about conflict prevention? It's almost impossible to rule out conflicts where there is a interaction of any sort, be it in business, be it in our various associations, in communities, and of course in our Rotary clubs. Norms and possible conflicts is a constant reoccurrence in social interaction. That is known to everybody. Though it differs in where I might be no intermediary to make peace. Others might of various, there are things that bite here and there. Some of these problems are preventable or in us. See, preventing conflict in our Rotary clubs is a desirable task that must be accomplished and maintained. Though it might be difficult for any leader to know all the problems facing the club, especially as to personality clashes, it is the responsibility of the leadership of such clubs and the intermediaries like the assistant governors, to reduce tensions in our clubs. What usually read about frictions in clubs? Number one, we all know that though Rotary is a highly structured organization with its laws and rules, the environment under which we meet as Rotarians is usually relaxed. So anybody with or without knowledge of Rotary can fit in. So you find a situation where people have never picked up the rules that guide their club, their constitution, their bylaws. They have never read. But because Rotary means a very simplified and easy manner, anybody can make any suggestions that he thinks fit or from his own common sense, forgetting that the association he belongs to, the association that went to fellowship, have their own rules. So one of the ways we think we can help this situation is to encourage clubs for a start, that at the point of adopting, at the point the prospect is successful and you are going to adopt that person, make your constitution that will come, not later. Because when the man is already in the club, he's already a Rotarian. There are a lot of things you want to tell him that he might not understand, so he has not read them. Don't forget the fact that a lot of us don't come for programs in the district. If the constitution is not available to you, how would you know what is expected of you? How would you know what you should do and what you should not do? How would you know how to relate to fellow Rotarians? That is one. Then two, I have been a two-time parliamentarian in this district, and I discovered, although the MOP is a good resource for drafting of constitution and bylaws of our clubs, the contributions that we make, the ones we add, maybe after our retreats, what we add to our bylaws and constitution are usually not properly drafted. They are not properly drafted. And so, the laws that you think you're making to prevent frictions, the laws that you make to guide how things should be done in the courts, the laws themselves are flawed because they lack elegance in draft. And we want to recommend that if there is any court that lacks resource in their constitutional reviews and write-up, you are free to come to the district. There is a district parliamentarian committee, year in, year out. They can help you sort that. So that instead of just writing for the sake of writing, because where you have different human beings, everything you put up is susceptible to as many minds as you have. That's the number of interpretations and explanations you have. So once you draft a law in a way that what you mean is not certain, it can be interpreted one way or the other. That means it is a matter of opinion. It now becomes a matter of opinion. I have had people call me, especially in the elections. They say, look, this is what our law says, how should it be? And you will wonder, why didn't you just end it like this? Why all these extensions? It now becomes a matter of opinion because what you think about it to be right, what I think about it to be right. So it depends on the perspective you're speaking from. If you have a personal interest in what is about to happen, you hold on to your opinion, and nobody can really fault you. So if we can find a way to make sure that the so-called laws, bylaws that are constitutional are drafted professionally. Professionally, so that when you pick it up and you read, you know exactly what is expected. Nobody will say, oh, this is what we ought to do, is qualified, it's not qualified. These are regular elections. You have a lot of manipulation, you have a lot of interpretations, this is qualified, it's not qualified. So the laws that guide all of this must be certain. The elegance in the draft must make for easy reading. Anybody should be able to pick up the laws, read and understand without seeking interpretation from anybody. That's another one. Then we have an issue that none of us can deny. None of us can deny. Virtually every block in this district, there are moving, like the principality, there are cliques in every block. There are cliques, there is no block that does not happen. And the strength of any block depends on how strong the cliques are. If they are working in the interest of the club, good for you. But if for any reason the cliques are contending against each other, then that club will have a very big problem. It would have been very okay to say, leave the clubs to sort out whatever problem they have. But sorting out the problem by a committee or maybe a council of vice president depends on the constituents who makes up that committee. If there are people with interest, there will never be justice. There will never be fairness. Some people will definitely not get what they deserve. So, as much as possible, we should downplay the role of cliques in our club. After all, it is about service. There is really nothing to gain other than you want to serve. But some people, by their very nature, want to rule everybody. And if you are in a club where you are not feeding me, you are not paying my bills, you are not doing anything for me, why would you want to rule me? If the interest is to serve, that is the common object. Why so much clicking because we want a particular position to prevail? This is an issue we know we all have, and we won't speak to it directly. It doesn't make for a good club. It doesn't make for a strong club. It wouldn't make for an effective club if we form ourselves into cliques instead of acting as one. Rotarian or so club, we now have divisions. Somebody wants to be president, at the time you remember that, oh, his cap is brown, it should have been white. Even when you have made every other qualifications, oh, that way, oh, the shoe is not too good. Or somebody wants to be president, you have not paid dues for 10 years. That's the day you look for the money and somebody pays for you because they want you to be prepared. Experience this in our village. And we must speak to them directly. We should just escalate the problems we have by quietly taking advantage of what we are explaining now, taking away cliques from the top. It doesn't profit anybody. Then, I know as an individual, I've run into some issues, and I know I didn't mention to some of our past district governors, I know, because of where we are and how we operate. I think the district as a body should set up maybe something like an arbitration panel, a conciliation panel, something like a mediating body made up of respectable materials, especially our leaders. I say this because even in the clubs themselves, when an issue arises in the club, and you tell the club, take care of that issue. Like I said before, it depends on who is mediating. If the persons mediating are people of interest, then we never be interest. I've had situations where people have been to stations as Rotarians. And at the end of the day, there is no satisfactory move. I've had situations where club officials, especially leadership in the club, have tried to intervene in situations, but because of that innate interest, the clique that we are still talking about, because of things like that, the truth doesn't come out. I've had situations where people have threatened potent court actions, which would greatly embarrass the district. Because what are you selling? If you are a Nigerian, you're talking about peace, you're talking about conflict prevention, you can't even settle your own problem. What would you preach to the third party? So if the district can have a body like that, I know usually when you have a court, you have proper legislation for it. I know usually you will have issues with people submitting to your jurisdiction, but the truth is that there are a lot of things we come into that happen to us that would ordinarily not happen to us if we were not Rotarians. There are a lot of people we have dealt with that we would ordinarily not deal with if we are not Rotarian, if we didn't meet here. Because as a Rotarian, a lot of things are presumed in your favor. So if you take advantage of some and the person needs to tell somebody, to report to somebody, the district should someone calling. I know it's not in the MOD. I know I might not have recommended it, but our particular environment calls for something like that. I will set up a committee that can attend to issues. I have known people that have taken money from other Rotarians for business, and it doesn't come the way they explain it. This is what I'm going to do, and they don't do it. What do you do? Personally, you are restrained. You wouldn't want to go to police. You wouldn't want to go to court. But there should be somebody that should be there, at least at the district level. Somebody you will respect. Somebody who will be dispassionate in dealing with what the issue is. Somehow we should find a way to do that. Even if it is outright, we should do it. I think our authorities permit that we should take short steps. So the distinguished Rotarians, I know there is a lot more. I know there are a lot more issues, but the truth is, as Rotarians, if only we can be truthful in our thoughts, if only we can be dispassionate in our services, if only we can be true Rotarians and not minding whatever you belong to, I believe that conflicts, as much as possible, will be avoided. Conflicts, as much as possible, will be avoided. It might not be easy to anticipate 100% what you will come across, but if you come, like there's this famous saying that if you see two brothers enter a room and they come out funny, you know they've told each other the truth. So if you have a free mind towards them, you should ask for Rotarian, because the truth is, when you wear the Rotary pin, fine, you might see that the privilege, but there's a lot of road that comes with it. Because truthfulness is presumed in your favor. But you are reliable is presumed in your favor. If you are failing in all this, how are you a Rotarian? If an issue comes up in your core and you cannot deal with that issue the way it is, you have other considerations, and that is what is informing the contributions and the opinions you form. How are you a Rotarian? So honestly, I would recommend to the district, do something about the immigration committee. Even if they don't have the force of law, or even if they don't have the force of implementing whatever is recommended, do something, because any club that you are not in that league, you are not a member, you treat those issues fairly and squarely. That is something I would personally recommend. I know I've mentioned it to two doctors that were serving alone. There are things that are happening. A lot of people are swallowing so much, and they are looking for an opportunity to pay that, to vent. But because you don't want to offend district now, you don't want to disappoint the Rotarian, you just bottle in. And a lot of Rotarians are suffering in that. Thank you. I want to regarding that. Can I still go there, or I should keep time? It's so much. All right. Thank you very much. I think what I'll do, I'll make this material very good somehow. So that thank you very much. Thank you for having me.
Wow. I want to believe we enjoyed that session. Great. Another round of applause. Yes, I have personally taught them. And I'm very sure those things are a blessing indeed. Because we are the one that preaches peace. We should also be at peace. Very, very fundamental. Thank you, our AG. Thank you for those brilliant, brilliant words. Quickly, we want to introduce the second guest speaker. think I have to use my, sorry. Just a minute, please. Our second guest speaker is also one of us. You know, one beautiful thing about Rotary is that we are loaded with lots of potential. We are rich in human capital. So we have another wonderful Rotarian who is equally going to address this same topic. And I'm very sure it's equally loaded. The profile is quite sketchy. So I will just give a brief profile. Rotarian Dr. Sulit Lebroy is from Road Club of Atlantic. It's not just from that club. He happens to be the charter president of that club. And you know what it means to be a charter president of the club. I'm very sure, having served as charter president, you know, the past in some aspect of the conflict and how you resolve them. He's also a multiple polarity fellow. Is the vice president of please. Is the vice chair of Rotary Foundation of Rotary Club of Lagos Island. Is a charter member of Rotary Club of Lagos Island. Okay, I think he moved from Lagos Island. Yes. So you can see that experience actually across a number of clubs. So please, Rotarian, I want you to put your hands together as we welcome Rotarian Dr. Sulit Lebroy, the chartered president of Rotary Club of Atlantic. He will also be adding to the topic of discussion.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
My respected Mr. Governor of Substance, my chair, Officer Dr. Resolution, TAG Dr. Silaja.
Yes.
My AG Dr. Ramesh Biswal. And I'm missing PDG Rotary Patrick because it is 20 Rotary Patrick time and I joined Rotary in the area. And I placed the first Polonese fellow when Rotary Patrick was visiting our club. As Rotary Patrick was visiting our club as on the PG basis. And now by seeing my badge, you will understand where I incline with the Polonese thing. My respected guest, my online visitor, my online guest, my keynote speaker, most welcome. I would be very fast and I would cover as my specialty is on corporate management. And I would, that is the thing which comes to my mind as usual. So I would try a few slides on mainly conflict prevention, because we all need peace. We all are looking for peace. But how to get there? Unfortunately, whether we like it or not, the only road to get there is to step over the conflict and kill. Because there is no situation where it is going to be without conflict for a very long time. So how many of us believe here that conflict is? Okay, let me rephrase my question. What do you feel conflict is? Is it good or bad? Let's raise our hands. Conflict is good or bad? Conflict is good. So only one says conflict is good. We all others understand that conflict is bad. Is it? No. It's good, Dad. So we all are understanding that conflict is good. Yes. So this is the beauty of Rotarians. This is the beauty of Rotarians because we have already understood that conflict is good. So peace is just awaiting on the door. Because once we acknowledge that conflict is good, and conflict is indeed good. I will just go to the next slide. So I will share the slides with everybody. There are quotes from people whose names you may not be familiar with. There's a small description of who those people are. These people are basically psychologists and corporate leaders who have written about conflict, books on conflict. So what Dorothy Thomas says, she is an American human rights activist, by the way back in 1960. What she says is, peace is not the absence of conflict, but the ability to cope with it. So there is no peace without conflict. Peace is not the absence of conflict, but the ability to cope with it. We'll go to the next slide. This is written by a gentleman called Thomas Paine, way back in 1737. He's a writer, he's a philosopher. He's an American political activist also. You know, during that time, in the 1700s and the 1800s, America was in turmoil. And people were writing a lot about conflict at that time. So this is Thomas Paine. He says the harder the conflict, the more glorious the triumph. I want to encourage all of us within the Rotary, if there is a very serious conflict, please have peace inside your mind and please be happy. You know the outcome will be very well deserving. A big conflict has always led to a very hearty triumph. Next slide, please. Thank you. This is by William James. Again, William James is 1842. Same time, same US turmoil. He's an American philosopher and a psychologist. He says, whenever we are in conflict with someone, there is one factor which can make the difference between damaging your relationship and deepening it. And that factor is attitude. If we have the right attitude while having a conflict too, we are very sure that we'll come out of it in a very successful way. These are, I aim this at the Rotary Club leadership, and Rotary Club's leadership brothers. So whoever leaders are listening to it, I'll share this and may this encourage you and not demean you while there is a conflict. May this encourage you to resolve the conflict which is within us. Next slide, please. So I'm slowly taking you from how conflict is positive. So what they say is 10% of conflicts are due to difference of opinion. And 90% is because of the rest does not come there. It says that 90% are due to wrong tone of voice. Please, can we, whoever is here, can we repeat this so that we go with learning something? 10% of conflict are due to difference in opinion. 90% are due to wrong tone of voice. So that means if we have 100 conflicts, I'm a technical person, you know, so I convert numbers to everything. So let me say if we have 100 conflicts, 90 conflicts are because our tone and our attitude was not proper. And 10 were genuine. So you know you have won the battle 90%. 10% is to be sorted out. Conflict, this is written by Harriet Baker. Heather Baker is also a practicing psychologist in the US. She has represented herself in many places, including the Oprah Winfrey show. And she's a very famous doctor. Rather. What she says is conflict avoidance is not the hallmark of a good relationship. So the first line, conflict avoidance, is not the hallmark of a good relationship. Whenever we are running into conflict, please do not run away from the conflict. Face it. Face the conflict. On the contrary, it is a symptom of serious problems and of poor communication. When we cannot face it, it's a poor communication. So let's face the conflict. Next one. This is a small definition of conflict, which again proves that conflict is positive. This is written by a corporate, a management guru. I don't know how I express, but it's written by a management expert, rather. It says conflict can be defined as natural consequences of the differences between individuals, groups, and organizations. That is the rise of conflict, because there is a inner difference of opinion. Even though first thoughts regarding the conflict are often still negative, but in this company of Rotarians, I feel that they all feel conflict is positive. So it says that even though the first thought regarding the conflict are often still negative, experts in the field of decision making, organization management, communication prove that lack of conflict could also have a negative consequence in your organization. So please do not run away from conflict, face the conflict, and let us resolve the conflict. I'll take it very fast. Principles of conflict resolution. First of all, conflict is due to our inner belief. I want to encourage everyone to feel that our belief may not be a true belief, or it can change with time. A belief is only a belief as long as we consider it to be a belief. The belief can change with time. The belief can change with consequences. The belief can change with situations. The belief can change. So let's not hang on to the belief when somebody else is trying to prove that there is another belief which is equally important as your own belief. I think the first step is to understand what is the belief we are talking about, or what is that man trying to tell us about his belief. If we can understand this, I think we can bridge it. The essence of conflict management is diffusing high emotional energy. You know, this conflict resolution is for, I believe, Rotarians and non-mature human beings. Looks like it is not a child show. Because if you have a high emotional feeling to diffuse it, you would need a bit of understanding to approach and to sit in that situation. So resolving of conflict often involves negotiation to bring an outcome that is mutually satisfying. There are various levels of conflict. One is we can resolve among ourselves. Other, you might need help. You might need an expert to come and talk to the both parties. The third, which is the worst part of conflict, which we should never land there, but I don't know how our PhD or person will take it. The third is litigation. That is a conflict of a higher order, where the people concerned have understood that there is no solution. They want somebody else to come and allow to bring a solution. So I feel before going to litigation, we should talk about all the natural ways like talking to each other and bringing in an expert and having an expert opinion. The key of effective conflict resolution are ability to reflectively listen to ensure understanding. Maintain rapport at all times. This is a fantastic subject or a line which I want to say. Even if there is a difference of opinion, I see my PhD has told something which does not suit my mind. That doesn't mean that I will go and start questioning and be angry with it. I should maintain my rapport with it. If I do so, maybe very soon I will get a chance to even put my belief on it. But if I get angry with him and go away, I will never get the chance to talk to him again. And he will also keep on thinking that why this man behaved like this. So let's maintain rapport at all times, a smiling face and a good rapport at all times. Differentiate positions of interest. Let's understand from where the conflict is coming from. Let's understand the position of that person. Let's understand the position of the clubs, the situation, and try to take it forward from there. Work towards resolution based on motivating interest. It should always be a win-win situation. And when we have a conflict, nobody should expect that I will simply walk away with the cake. Because both the parties in conflict has a share of the cake. So both the parties will have some part of the cake and which we should be willing to share. There is a system of conflict resolution which I can share in the techniques of conflict resolution. Can you show the first page? Just the first page. It's a PDF. Or if you're not finding it. Yeah. It's too small. Yeah, that's the page. But it's very small. I just want to speak on the 4 things, but there's a paper on this, a 3-page paper. It's not a very big paper. I'll share it on the group so that everybody can go read it. There are 4 stages how we will resolve a conflict. First is all the members in conflict should be aware. Then we should be, no, I just want you to stand there. Yeah, no, just go up a little, yeah. Then we should be self-prepared. Then we should negotiate and agree. This is the 4 ways how we should do. I can go to the last slide of PowerPoint. I will share this paper. The last slide of the last slide in the PowerPoint. Yeah. Yeah, this one. That's the next slide. The next slide. So thank you so much, and I want to leave this house, and I want all of you to get convinced that face the conflict, it is good. And let's bring peace after facing the conflict. Thank you so much for the time.
Yes. I want to believe Syrian has actually taken us to another dimension of this whole subject of peace building. He dwelled a little bit on the area of resolution. And you agree, our youth speaker recommended something. And that was on the basis of the fact that we are committed like this. So you see the two working together. A big round of applause for I'm very sure you have a question, and I'm equally sure we have more than able resource person here that will provide good answers. Those questions handled very, very well. So we'll start from us here. Do we have any question? Perhaps question that has to do with our various experiences as Rotarian, as a San Governor, president, I am sure not necessarily the summary of this program should be made available for class, because all blocks actually need it. All blocks need it. So I saw only one hand. 2, 3. Wow. So from here we have 3 questions. Now is it possible to take question from perhaps if we have number 1, 2, okay. I get to start. Let's start from you.
Thank you very much, Pastor Ghana. Really enjoyed your speech. My question is that anything like professional agreements.
Please use the mic.
Professional agreements among members. At what point can we use the professional agreements to sort out?
Professional agreement.
At what point is it proper for people to have to not to play?
You should not be allowed at all.
Even going forward, I will just start some of these things in our thoughts. We are recommending also that when you want to do inductions, induction of the new president and the board of trustees and the officers, it should be a big deal handing over the bylaw. It should be a big deal. It's the most important document you should hand over on that day. You know, so that everybody knows that this is the constitution of this law. And from time to time, that should be reviewed because circumstances will change within the law. Constant review. But there must be a rule, a set of rules that we will all abide. What you're saying right now should have been mentioned in bylaw, that we will all be guided by all of them. So bringing something from outside will not be helpful if we already have a bylaw. Okay, so bylaws are very, very important things.
Yes.
Thank you, sir.
Any contributions, sir?
So let's recognize and pray for speedy resolution and prevention of these conflicts because of some of the political parties and some of the countries they are having the interest, the self-interest as my PP Sunil has mentioned because of some interests. So that is the good thing we have done a good day. So let's pray for a speedy resolution of this. The second thing I wanted to thank you for this seminar today. And the takeaway from our past speaker, he has mentioned for me as an individual, peace means not only preventing a war, peace means not preventing any conflict, any loss, but peace means all of us as a European, we can keep any person who can be 50 minus degree and we are giving a blanket and see or he protects us for 2 hours. That is the peace we are supposed to give that instance. For me, I understand. So let's come forward and talk more by giving half a chocolate. Talk to meet to anybody who is not having the who is starving. So that we give peace to that person at least for 1 hour. So that is called peace for me. And which is the if you achieve these things, then the conflict will not be there. People will be going towards this. Thank you.
Thank you. I just have a point to say, which I would like all the people present here can practice. Whenever I'm angry on something and I want to send an email, I don't do it. And when I want to say that I will not do it, I don't send it. I decided for 4 or 5 years that all my emails should be positive, even if I don't want to. I will suggest that I believe that that is not. There are other alternatives to this. Why don't you consider the following? I never write any negative email since the last few years. And I have trained myself by request that if
one of us can even take this as a takeaway, that do not write an email when you are angry, and write a positive email. Thank you. And a positive WhatsApp. Yeah.
So WhatsApp is faster. Or Facebook. So we can all be positive peace ambassadors as Nigerians. Yes, I think 2 more questions. Okay. Okay, not yet. If you have questions, you are online, you have questions, we equally want to take that, please. Just indicate. We will take the 2 questions at the stretch, then the answer. So, your question, ma'am.
Mine is not really the question to say, but it's an observation. I noted the interest that we should be interested about service and employees, not necessarily having self-interest about everything else. And I know people actually do it to vent because a lot of things that they're contending with, they can't understand, and they need third party from the district to intervene. But I also found out that if we also bring everything to the table, are able to apply the whole test. And use, like you said, that reference point, the template, give the truth. So like we have so many types of truth. But the truth that we're referring to now is the 4-way test and the Roche's template for the truth. Is it fair to all concerned? Because at the end of the day, by the time you think the results of the full thing is not fair, and then you don't go beyond that to find out why do you think it's not fair? Just everything is just very dead, but you think we're on the same page. Good will and better friendship. Find out that you're not built that good at the end of the day because somebody is still not satisfied or they need a more experienced hand to deal with the situation on hand. And the truth is, a lot of our thoughts have a lot of problems that we're dealing with. And will it be beneficial? At the end of the day, we should still be friends. We should be able to relate to one another. We should be able to look each other in the face and say, okay, we had disagreements, but at the end of the day, we have a common ground, this job and the district that we're relating with, and we want to continue to deal with one another. So I just want to put it there to say those are some of the things we need to look at. How, one more thing, are we able to accept the truth when we're telling the truth that, okay, there's a conflict here. The truth is, we didn't do this well, we didn't do that well, we didn't do this well. How do we react? With maturity or with emotions?
Okay.
Yes, the last question before my own question.
My question is not particular about when I look at
Peace. Some peace.
So we talk about peace and how to prevent conflict. And I've learned that conflict. So in a situation whereby looking at the country, people with diverse and different diverse interests to say with conflict. Looking at the approaches that we bring today, how can we resolve this conflict? Looking at all the approaches, all of them today, I'm actually trying to take it and say, okay, so if you're able to deploy this or apply this to the current situation in Nigeria, can you actually achieve it? So basically asking how can we resolve the conflict in Nigeria? If we say that conflict is good, and we need to be around. Thank you.
If you have allowed me to give up with one example, I think that will have answered the question. For this, before you take this one as well. When there is conflict between what is true, what is the truth, and what is fair, I think what you take priority.
What is justice?
And it's fair.
What is justice?
Okay. Okay. So you look for what is lost. Okay. I think that's a smart answer.
primary truth is constant. Or the ways of the language and the issue of interest. Now, concerning the issue of Nigeria, my sister, believe me, if Kigali is what it used to be, really begin to follow their presidents in its talks, in its sessions, if there is nothing problem, are we ready to face the truth as Nigerians? Nothing we cannot settle, absolutely. Thank you.
Anyone for one?
I'm very sorry, sir. I want to have a question, please. When you say what is just, the question he had was different than the truth and the feelings. But he said the most paramount one is just. Looking at just mean the agreements among all members. You know, if you have if you have like 500 members, or 50, sorry, that's mega, 50, I have about 45 going in agreement with what what the God is doing. I think that is just. So is that just? Yes. So is that just? Sorry, aside the Bible, is that just? I don't know to do. Like 45% is an agreement what the God is doing. That's what they call just.
Let me take the mic.
Sir, let me just want to prove that.
Let me take the mic.
It's not as simple as that.
That's what take you through.
What we are talking about is taking your steps from your making. And your making is your constitution. Right? If for any reason 45 or 90% of the club members are taking one way concerning an issue, have your club assembly. At which point you can celebrate and address that issue. Benefit your club more to take the 90% opinion, you are made your mind. You are made your mind. That now becomes the possession. Are we clear?
I'm clear. Don't worry. Let's just make it happen.
Thank you. You should be clear.
Don't worry.
Yes, I want to believe we have done justice to the topic. So the next thing we want to do is we want to appreciate our speaker for their sacrifice of time and talent and much more at this program today. So I want us to please welcome our chairman, who will do justice to that on behalf of the district. Let's put our hands together to welcome our chairman. They are not clapping, no. Keep clapping, yes, clap. Keep on clapping. Keep on clapping.
Our district office from here is busy on business, so it's very, very busy right now. Our speakers have been tremendous, and they are, you will agree with me, they are full of wisdom. Even in answering some questions, you can see that there's wisdom. There's a lot of wisdom that are well in themselves. We want to appreciate them because they have very little time to prepare for this. Very, very little time. Did you say that we have little time to put this together? So we'd like to honor our own Rotarian Manchester as our so I want to say thank you for your thank you for taking time out know, as a head of people practice, everybody's looking for you. Full laws are public clients. Thank you. Clients are looking at you. Thank you for coming. Thank you for taking this around.
So much. Thank you so much.
We also would like to honor. Yes, honor. Also would like to honor our Nigerian brother, Sonny Deborah. His club is one club that I look up to all the time. The Atlantic. They are forever busy. They are, because they are in advanced position. They are always very busy. They always having programs going on. I want to say thank you for taking time out in this short period to be at this. We hope we'll call on you again, because what we are trying to do is start at something that I say there should be an arbitration committee. And because it started from here, we're going to pursue it. We're going to do a lot to make sure that. Thank you very much.
Please, Judge.
So can I have my committee members come join us? Okay. Madam.
Can I have one photograph of my?
Yes.
By the time.
Can you use our phones?
Thank you so much.
So we take the, yes, we'll do that later. But let the chairman closing remarks, and thereafter, both of them, pictures and item 7.
I want to say thank you. I want to say thank you to everyone. For those of us who are still online, thank you so much. And it is signed off. Okay, thank you. We want to thank our speakers, especially. Can we please give them another round of applause, please? On behalf of the DG is busy upstairs on his behalf. He has asked to send his message, say thank you for coming, thank you for everything. I want to assure you, this topic seemed not taken very seriously before now. But I can assure you that this is going to change the color of Rotary in a very short time. Because we are going to take it upon ourselves to see what we can do to ensure that more and more clubs are having peace and understanding in a way where they can handle their conflicts. Thank you very much for coming. And I want to say, thank you very much for listening. Thank you.
the national anthem. National anthem, can we be upstanding? Let's be upstanding as we take the national anthem. On to go. Thank you all for coming. God bless you all. Let's take a photograph. Let's photo here.
I don't talk. Did you hear what she said?
Let's go through that. Let's go through that. Yes. That's my very first year. We should be very yes. Not going to know. And one lady. That's fine.
We join the evolution step. Let me join.
You not appear. You do not appear.